Ubisoft's best games are normally their older ones, because their newer ones leave a lot to be desired.
Right, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and climb up here to get... of course.
Ubisoft's golden age was around the times of 2002 to like 2010, their best years, releasing hits like Prince of Persia, Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six Vegas, Far Cry 2, Assassin's Creed, Rayman Raving Rabbids. It wasn't that bad. And around this time, in 2003, we got a game that is only getting a sequel now. And that game is Beyond Good and Evil. Now, Beyond Good and Evil is a game I saw plenty of when I was a kid in the game shops and on TV, but for whatever reason, I just never picked it up. It never appealed to me for some reason, and for that reason, I just never played it. Until last week. I got told by multiple people to give it a go, and after Ubisoft's press conference where they showed more of the prequel Beyond Good and Evil 2, I decided to pick up the original to see what this universe had to offer, and let me say, this was one hell of a journey, and one hell of a universe I was jumping into. Beyond Good and Evil is an old game, and due to that you'd think that the universe and its world has lost a bit of what made it feel special back in the day. Well, you could think that, but you'd be wrong. Beyond Good and Evil has an incredibly immersive and involved universe. It's not just your typical alien world with some cool things to make for a fun game. This game takes its world and its lore very seriously, which I admire in any game. The thing that tears this world apart, however, is its undeniable charm. Every set of characters is different and acts in a different way, and each has its own charm. I mean, look here, there are literally reggae rhinos working in a garage. Look at them, they're all Jamaican and cool. The game works as a kind of hub-based exploration type deal. It's difficult to explain, but imagine you have an open world. Now imagine parts of that open world are chill and free of enemies, areas you can shop or explore freely, and then imagine other parts are dangerous and have hostiles. Now imagine those different areas are cut off from each other by a loading screen, and that's basically what you have from Beyond Good and Evil. It's like Kingdom Hearts in a sense in terms of its exploration. You can freely travel around this world by entering preset rooms, and each of these separate areas have a certain tone and feel that's normally set by the music. The garage, for example, has some great reggae music in the background. And then the Yakuda Bar has another type of music which sets the tone for that area, a tone of fun and again charm, but also this underlying feeling of potential danger, which is done with their lyrics, which is actually talking about propaganda and not allowing yourself to be controlled, which is some really nice attention to detail that people wouldn't normally notice. Then you have the more hostile areas, which set the tone of danger very, very heavily with the music they use, and it really, really puts you on edge during these missions. The world is constantly feeling different depending on the area you're in, and you get used to this as you play, and the charm never ever goes away. From the characters to the world and the story, there's this feeling of charm no matter what you're doing. It's goofy, it's funny, but it also takes itself seriously. This isn't Saints Row where it plays up its dumb parts. It takes itself very seriously whilst also being a comical world, and I think that's what makes it so immersive and truly draws me in and gets me invested in this universe they built. On top of this, there's so many different things you can do in this world to flesh it out more, and I found myself searching around and trying to find everything because of the attention to detail. I didn't want to miss a thing. I wanted to find all of the pearls, take pictures of all the different species, and I wanted to play air hockey against a giant shark man, and I fucking beat him twice. Get fucked, you shark cunt. As well as these things, you could also do races around the world in order to get money and pearls, which are used to buy upgrades for your ship, but I'll talk about how that works a little later on because I'm trying to keep this video as well structured as I possibly can. The races are fun and keep you on your toes. I found myself shooting the other racers because there was absolutely no penalty whatsoever, and so I just won the race because I'm a dirty fucking cheater. There's also these hidden caves to explore and plenty of other shit to do. This game really utilizes its world and fills it with things to find that are well off the beaten track. There's truly something special about the care that went into building this world and its atmosphere that keeps it immersive all the way later in 2018. story took some twists and turns, although predictable by 2018 standards. I still enjoyed my ride through the main story, which is essentially a story of characters, with the whole cast being interesting. You play as Jade. She's basically a PI, like Jessica Jones, but like she lives in a world with Jamaican rhinos and big sharks that want to play air hockey. Still beat, you dickhead! Jade lives in a lighthouse on the planet Hillis with her uncle Paige. I say uncle in air quotes because he's obviously not her uncle, he's a fucking pig, but he acts like her uncle and it's a very nice relationship they have together. The main premise is that the planet they live on is being attacked by evil aliens called the Doms, and your job is to kind of get involved with all of this for whatever story reason and join the fight. I'm being purposely vague here because I don't want to ruin the story, which, although basic, is a really good time. There's many memorable characters throughout the story, with Jade and Paige obviously being at the forefront, but you also have members of the Iris and, more notably, Double H, who also joins you, and god damn is this man a laugh. He says some funny stuff, he does some funny stuff, but also, unintentionally, yells Carlson and Peters in random fucking situations all the time. You come to know all of these characters through the course of the game, and by the end you really feel like you've gathered together a crew that could take on the galaxy and become true adventurers. But you don't get to do that because the sequel is a prequel, which kind of disappointed me after finishing the game, but it's cool. It's cool, it's fine. The gameplay is a huge portion of this game, and it's so diverse in what it offers, from up-close combat with your staff, to puzzle areas where you have to use both players' abilities, to areas that are stealth sections, and then on top of that you have the races, and the exploration, and the air hockey. Get fucked, you shark bastard! The combat is a fun time, nothing special, but also feels totally satisfying. You have your attacks, your combos, and your dodging, and it all flows really nicely still in 2018. Now, the only huge issue I had here was...
What the fuck is going on with this camera? Fucking, no, what? Okay, can I the fucking fit? Oh, fuck's sake.
Puzzle sections allow for a slower approach and give you time to think. They aren't like the hardest things in the world, but they can sometimes pose a nice challenge, which I like. Now, where this game really shines and really works well is within the missions, which act kind of like dungeons in a sense. You enter somewhere like the factory or the slaughterhouse, and you have to complete a certain mission to take pictures of specific things. Now, you have to progress through these areas which are crawling with these highly trained guards, and I tell you, stealthing through these areas is actually terrifying. Not knowing whether you're going to get caught and at the same time trying to solve puzzles and figure out where to go can be tricky, but I think it's a huge benefit of the game, and it really helps with the feeling of being immersed in this world. It makes you feel as though you are Jade trying to navigate through this unknown area.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make my approach. Oh god, no, please, no, I'm sorry, no, please,
Too many games these days completely hold your hand, but here, you're on your own, and it gives you that sense of feeling lost, and a feeling like you're almost trapped in this building, and the feeling of finally navigating the stealth and puzzles, and then freeing yourself back into the open world and returning to the bar, or the garage, or just to the Hillis area feels so rewarding. You feel like you've genuinely accomplished a mammoth task, and you don't get that feeling enough in modern games. One thing that really makes these sections shine is their level design. It's perfectly crafted to allow you to understand how the game works. There are certain cues with lighting or music to allow you to know where you're going. Take this for example. In order to teach you how to use the wrench, there's a path you can't access yet early on. You find another way around, and in the room you find a wrench which allows you to open the gate and rejoin the area you were previously in. It's little things like this that allow for levels to feel well designed and fun to play. In addition to this, like I said, there's an upgrade system for your ship. You get these upgrades from rhinos. I know I keep mentioning the rhinos, but like they're fucking rhinos, which progresses over time to unlock new things that then allow you to progress further in the story. At one point you need a jump boost, or at another point you need stabilizers. These are things you need to progress. You best be collecting all the pearls you can. Speaking of pearls, one way you can get them is from the photography element of the game. Early on you're asked to keep an eye out for any and all species and take pictures to send them to the science department to catalog. As you progress you can keep doing this to receive money and pearls. It's a nice little addition and ensures you're always getting money and pearls to keep you moving along. And all of these systems work so nicely together to give you one overall enjoyable experience, and it just really adds to...
My god, will you fucking shut up?
Overall, this game still holds up incredibly well. I'd highly recommend playing it, even if it is just to show that shark who's boss. I'll be back for you. You fuck it. This is one of the better experiences I've had in video games in recent memory, and I'm so pleased I ended up playing this game. I'm more than excited for the prequel and can't wait to see where they take this wacky, fun, and charming universe. Thanks for watching, I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate all of the support. If you want to help further, you can always check out my Patreon and support over there. I really do appreciate it all. Cheers for joining me, guys, and I'll see you all next time.